Good morning and welcome to this second episode in how to improve your sleep. So in the first episode we looked at the environment we sleep in, what we're eating and drinking, how those affect sleep. If you haven't seen that video yet, have a look at the channel and you'll see the series on improving your sleep. Today I want to talk about something I found that helps me get off to sleep, and it may help you. So for years I used to think having a drink before you go to bed, wine normally, beer or wine, would help me relax and get off to sleep. That was a bad move, and so when, it was over 5 years ago now, I quit caffeine and alcohol, I had to think of what else could I do to just help me ease into sleep at the end of the day. One thing I found that really helps is reading, but obviously I don't want to be reading anything too deep or technical, because that would kind of wake the brain up rather than help it go to sleep. And for most of my life I avoided reading fiction because I used to think, arrogantly, what's the point? It's all made up. Why would you read something made up? But if you think about it, stories are really powerful. And in our culture, there's stories everywhere. I mean, the whole of Hollywood, a multi-trillion-pound industry, is based on telling stories, most of which are fictitious, because in case you didn't know, Star Wars didn't really happen.
A great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror.
The time I tried this, I can't remember what I was reading, but I found reading fiction really helpful, and it helps you get to sleep. It's not that it's like so boring, put me to sleep. It's not that, but reading anything is actually a calming thing on the human mind. But what I found is that the story takes your mind off whatever's been happening in the day. Often what keeps us awake at night is the stresses and strains of the day we've had. Things going on in the family, maybe money worries, all sorts of stuff can just prey on our mind, and we go over and over and that we can't get off to sleep. But I found if you can find a good writer with a good story, they actually have the ability to transport you to another world, even if it's a fictional world, and get you involved in the lives of characters and situations that's got absolutely nothing to do with your real life. So I tend to save my deep reading for in the daytime, in the morning perhaps, but a story or a fictional character I use once I'm in bed, just read for a few minutes, maybe a chapter, and get involved in that story, and I find I go to sleep thinking about that, which doesn't really matter because it's fictional. So the tricky part in this method is obviously finding a good writer and a story that kind of engages your mind. As I've been doing this, as I say, for about 5 years now, I've got some recommendations, and also if you go to my website donegan.life and check out the blog section, you'll see that there's a lot of increasing number of book reviews on there, with a link to where you can get the books. So what about you? Have you tried reading fiction just before you go to sleep? Have you found that helpful? If you have, leave a comment in the sections below. If you've not tried that, you try it on my recommendation or whatever. Let me know later on if you find that useful. So I said at the beginning of this video, I look to read fiction instead of drinking caffeine and alcohol, and in the next video we're going to look at something you could drink a little bit before bedtime that will help you sleep rather than keep you awake. Do drop a comment in the comment section below so we can have a discussion, build a community of those with ideas on how to get better sleep. Also join me over on Instagram and Facebook on the socials, and join the conversation there. If you found this video helpful, Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notifications of new videos, and it really helps me grow the channel. So let's keep working on improving our life. And as I said in the previous video, sleep is the #1 foundation for a better life.